Hello, Lensmates, and welcome. This is Book Lens. Whether you're settling down for the night, maybe getting some chores done, or just looking for something soothing to listen to, I invite you to get comfortable. Today, we're going to gently explore the story behind a film title that you might have noticed popping up more than once this year, Junior.
So here's our roadmap. We're going to start by clearing up a little bit of confusion about that name. Then we'll dive deep into one specific, very buzzy debut film. We'll look at its story, see how people reacted to it, and then try to figure out what it all really means for its brand new star.
Okay, so let's get right into it. First things first, if you felt like you were seeing the title Junior everywhere in 2025, well, you were not imagining things. It turned out to be a surprisingly popular name for movies this year.
And this little chart really helps break it all down. You've got the romantic entertainer from India, released in both Telugu and Kannada. That's the one we're really focusing on today. But there was also a drama in Malayalam, a really fun animated comedy from Saudi Arabia, and of course, you can't forget the classic 1994 sci-fi comedy with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
So now that we've got our bearings, let's narrow our focus. Let's talk about the bilingual film that was designed to launch a brand new face into the world of Indian cinema. You know, this film was a huge deal for its star, Kireeti Reddy, but he wasn't flying solo. He was backed by an absolute powerhouse team, including the super popular actress Sri Leela, the much-celebrated return of Janelia D'Souza, and a soundtrack from the one and only Devi Sri Prasad, a real A-list crew.
And here's another thing. This wasn't some small, quiet release. They launched it in two major languages, Kannada and Telugu, on the very same day. That's a big move that tells you the producers had immense confidence and were aiming for a huge cross-country audience right out of the gate.
So, you've got all this talent, all this hype. What's the movie actually about? Well, the plot is kind of like a blend of a few classic cinematic ingredients that you might find familiar.
It follows a pretty classic hero's journey, doesn't it? It all kicks off with this really tragic family backstory. Then, it shifts gears into a sweet, lighthearted romance during his college years. And then, bam, it pivots again into this big corporate conspiracy that, of course, ties right back to his family's past and forces him to go back and face it all.
But really, at its heart, the movie is all about emotion. This one line kind of sums it all up. It really captures that central idea of the film, that behind all the hardship and even the anger from a parent, there's this deep, unspoken love and sacrifice.
All right, so how did this whole blend of action, romance, and family drama actually play out with the people who went to see it? Well, as soon as the film hit theaters, social media lit up with opinions.
And the very first thing that just jumped out at everyone was praise for Kireeti Reddy himself. The consensus was overwhelming. For a newcomer, he made a massive impression. People just kept talking about his incredible energy, especially in the dance sequences.
And a lot of viewers really felt the film worked as a whole package. You know, a solid commercial movie that gave them exactly what they were looking for. A little bit of comedy, some action, some emotion, and pretty much everyone agreed the production values were top-notch.
Okay, now this comment is where it gets really interesting. Take a close look at the words they use. They call the movie a decent watch, right? But they call Kireeti's performance a blockbuster debut. And that specific distinction, that difference between the film and the star, became the main story online.
So, if we just boil it all down, you get this really clear picture. What worked? The people. Kireeti's confidence, Sri Leela's on-screen charm, Janelia's powerful comeback, everyone loved the performances. And what didn't work so well? The story itself. A lot of critics and viewers just felt the script was a little outdated, a little predictable.
So, let's talk about the business side of things. How did this mixed but positive reaction translate into actual numbers, from the ticket sales all the way to its new life on streaming services?
Well, for starters, they put some serious money behind this film. It was a major investment, especially for a debut. When you add up the production and all the marketing, the total budget was around 25 crore rupees.
And in its run in theaters around the world, the movie managed to earn back a solid amount, pulling in over 10 crore rupees at the box office, A respectable number for sure.
Now, you might look at those numbers and think, okay, solid, but not a record-breaking blockbuster. And you'd be right, which is exactly why the filmmakers made a really smart and really fast pivot. They moved the film from theaters to at-home streaming platforms, or OTT, incredibly quickly.
And when I say fast, I mean fast. We're talking just a couple of weeks after it opened in theaters. It popped up on services like Aha Video and Nama Flix, with some reports saying it was on Prime Video as early as August 2nd. The strategy was clear: get it in front of a home audience while the theatrical buzz was still fresh.
So, after looking at the story, the reviews, the business side, what's the big takeaway? What can we really learn from the journey of Kireeti Reddy Junior?
This really gets us to the heart of our whole conversation today. Junior is the perfect example of what we mean by a blockbuster debut. It proves that an actor's first film can be seen as a huge, career-launching success, creating tons of excitement for their future, even if the movie itself ends up being just a decent, modest hit.
So yeah, the launch vehicle did exactly what it was supposed to do. It put a brand new star on the map. But that leaves us with this final, lingering question, doesn't it? After proving he can carry a familiar story with confidence, what kind of role, what kind of film should Kireeti Reddy pick next to really define his career? That's definitely something to think about. Thank you so much for joining me, Lensmates. I'm Book Lens, and I hope this brought a little calm to your day.